You know, guys and gals, Xbox is like your local crack fiend this generation. You know, they had a little problem starting off. You know, they were snorting a bit of that good, and then eventually, you know, they went to rehab. And you know, they sure they dabble in it every once in a while. They're like, you know, maybe I'll have a little taste of that. Little taste of that crack. Maybe I'll have a little crack sandwich, right, every once in a while. But they mean well. You know, Xbox got a job, it got a dog, it got everything. You know, Xbox is making its life, it's turning it around. I heard Xbox is about to pay off his car. You know, so congratulations for it. But you know what happened just a couple days ago? Xbox decided to taste a little bit of that crack sandwich, and we got that Series X. Now, can I just say for a second, I'm gonna roast this bitch right now. First of all, who decided this should look like a fucking router or a mini TV, a mini PC tower? I have a router that looks literally like this, okay? Every system, even the PS5 design looks like a motherfucking router. Who designed this? It looks like something Norman Reedus would carry on his back in Death Stranding. I mean, the thing, if it was just a little bit bigger, okay, would just look like something from 2001: A Space Odyssey. You know, like those little monolithic slabs? This is what it looks like, all right? Now, to roast the design is one thing. I appreciate the design. If you ever used high-end computers, you'll know that the common design or something nowadays that people are going for is that like exhaust pipe deal, you know, that little rocket ship design. Because when you have such high-end computer parts in your system, they generate this thing called heat. You know, it's a problem. You know, if you have too much of it, it could ruin your internals. So what they do is they generate all that heat, and then they exhaust that shit upward so that, you know, they can keep that component really cool, you know, and that's something that tells me Xbox is serious. You know, they're like, we're gonna finally release a system that is actually powerful, not like that Xbox One dog shit they released this generation, where it was what was it, a tablet CPU, a GPU that was hardly, you know, it was all right. You know, low to mid-range computer, or VCR back in the day, call it a day. You know, they got their shit together. But this time, Xbox ain't kidding around, and I'm sure that they've actually invested heavily in making the most powerful system out there. Now, whether the most powerful system is going to have the games worth playing, because you can have the most powerful box in the world, but if you don't got no games, no one's going to be playing you, that's a whole different story. And I'm sure Xbox is going to stand up. There's a lot of good Xbox first-party stuff coming out. But, who the fuck decided that name should fly? Series X? What the... Okay, you know what? They played themselves. They can't call it the Xbox 720, missed that fucking mark. Can't call it the Xbox 4, because that would be retarded. They can't call it the Xbox One X squared, okay, because that would be really, really stupid. Now they've decided, okay, you know what? Let's call it the Series X. All right, at this point, all we can call our elongated GameCube is the Series X. You know, this is giving me those old Wii U vibes, where once this thing hits the market, people are going to be like, well, what do you want, Billy? You want the Xbox One X or the Xbox Series X? You see what I'm trying to say? And then they got to add all the Xbox One S's, and then whatever else they got on the market, which, let's be honest, most parents are going to be like, well, that one is like $400 cheaper than the other, so I'm going to get that one. And little Billy's going to be playing Fortnite at fucking 600p or some bullshit nonsense or whatever. But you get what I'm trying to say. The naming is all over the place. I mean, when you're making a next generation system, I'm not saying call it the fucking Xbox Parade Wagon or call it the Xbox Monolith, but have something that sounds like it's a successor. Don't just call it the Series X. No one's gonna get it. This is what are you trying to do? Sell me a phone? Well, what's going on here? And, you know, PlayStation, they're in the right place. They're like, oof, well, we made the PlayStation 4. Shit, guys. Marketing team, let's sit down. We know we pay each other millions here. What should we call our next PlayStation? And the first motherfucker in there is like, PlayStation 5. All right, and then there's a guy who's like, well, PlayStation Series X, they just get thrown out the fucking window at Sony Japan or whatever. You see that? It sounds normal, right? Like when I'm in the store, I'm like, what's the newest PlayStation? Probably the one that has the last numeral in it chronologically. When I go to the store and I look at Xbox Series X, I'm like, that looks like a fucking router to me. But all in all, it looks like a cool system. I'm always a huge fan of console gaming, despite being a predominant PC gamer myself. And a lot of that comes with the fact that as a PC gamer, one thing I have to admit is whatever the consoles do, they set a framework, they set the groundwork. And honestly, the consoles become the next generation's minimum recommended requirements. And even then, you know, some of the technologies that consoles adopt become the mainstream. Ray tracing is a big deal with video games nowadays, and it's why that ray tracing technology that's out right now, the Rage, is making some games look photorealistic at this point. I mean, you can't play Minecraft the same way once you've ray traced it, okay? Like, you just don't go back to regular blocks, okay? Once you got the big boy blocks, you don't go back to that pussy shit. And that's kind of what it is. And now that Xbox, PlayStation has pretty much solidified ray tracing will be the future, I'm excited as a PC gamer to see how that technology keeps evolving. Now, there's other stuff that the Xbox Series X does, right? Like, hey, we've got 8K. No game will run 8K. Maybe Minesweeper. Maybe an original Xbox game if you're really lucky. But 8K? You know how many pixels that motherfucker is? Okay, there are PC games out there that can struggle to hit 4K. You're not Xbox gamers. I know it. I get it. I understand. The Kool-Aid is there. The cult is there. The fanboyism is alive and well. 8K will not be a reality. No big budget game is pushing 8K out there, okay? They might upscale to 8K. It's kind of like how the systems do it right now, right? They're like, oh, it's a 4K PS4 Pro. Yeah, it's like 1440p at best, and then it gets updated to 4K. But that card game I was playing was 4K. Okay, you played yourself, all right? Just because you can run fucking Roblox at 4K doesn't make it the most powerful system in the world. You know what I'm trying to say? But 8K is there. That's cool. It's got a disk drive. I love it because I like physical media, and I'm glad Xbox at least committed right now that they're not going to kill discs. It's a big deal for me. I love my discs. I love owning games, for fuck's sake. The other big thing about it is the 120 frames per second. Now, this is already on Xbox One, I believe, like the One X at least. I'm excited to see if next-gen games or like ports of, like, say, Rainbow Six Siege will actually run at 120 FPS. Because if you ever played Siege on console, it's 60 FPS like locked, which isn't bad, but adding 120 would like severely increase response times, and it would make the game much more enjoyable. I'm sure if they gave options to dial down settings and hit it, I would obviously enable it 100%. So I'm excited to see they got that. They've got stuff like FreeSync, and I guess by response, hopefully G-Sync as well, considering it's, I don't know, it's a technology that's, at this point, I think they're taking away all the hardware BS aside from it. So yeah, overall, it don't look too bad. But one thing that I feel could really make that Series X shine, all right, could be the piece de resistance on this motherfucker, would be if Microsoft had allowed me to take the terabyte or whatever they give you in hard drive and split it 500 between the actual game system to play games and 500 gigs to, like, install Windows 10. Now, Xbox One right now runs everything in a virtual machine anyways, so for them to add the ability to run Windows 10 in its virtual machine and use it for full-on gaming, video editing, whatever work you wanted to do, productive, video gaming, general web browsing if you wanted, would be so cool. You know, at the end of the day, I look at value in my box, right? Like, if I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars on your system, I want to get as much value as I can. And no, Microsoft, I don't want to watch fucking TV, and I don't want to tell my Xbox to turn on and switch to the Nature Channel. That's pretty stupid. What I want is to not only play games on my Xbox, but if I wanted to, you know, be able to download Windows 10 onto my system, because it is a Microsoft-run system. Install Steam, install Uplay, install all these tools and gadgets, even the Microsoft Store, and just play my games like I would a PC anyways. Or have my PC games on there, route my Xbox controller through it, very easy to do, and just play games like that. It would be so cool and beneficial if they did it. You know PlayStation 5 is also going to be powerful. You know PlayStation 5 is thinking of that backwards compatibility. But I think there is no better backwards compatibility than allowing PC Windows 10 to run on your Xbox Series X. I think no matter what, no matter how much of a fanboy you are, that'd be one of the coolest things out there. I mean, logically, if you think about it, right? Like, at the end of the day, it would improve. It would bring so many people into the PC gaming circle. Right now, Microsoft doesn't care whether you know, you're playing on an Xbox or a PC. All they care is that you're buying their games or you're subbed to Game Pass. And honestly, given the fact that they've already went that route, just giving you the option, and Microsoft is all about options and openness these days compared to what they used to be. It would be so cool to run your Xbox One games or Series X games, whatever the fuck they're going to call that, and also run Windows 10 and get best of both worlds on one device. I mean, you not only got a pretty powerful console, but I believe you have a mid to somewhat powerful range PC gaming device if they gave you the option. It would be just the cherry on top if they let you do it. And I think if you put it up next to the PlayStation 5, Yeah, PS5 has exclusives, that's great and dandy, but if Xbox Series X can do that, it can bring so many people into a market that I think Microsoft can really corner. You know, for years they've been getting into their hardware and they've made Microsoft Surface, but I think if Xbox could do that, it would really help push these consoles. I would buy an Xbox Series X just for that reason, whether it be gaming or not, to have like an actual gaming PC for a relatively decent price, you know, would be an amazing deal. I would feel that that would add the cherry on top for me, you know, to be able to play something like Halo 5, or not Halo 5, but the new Halo Infinite, whether I play it on the PC version through Microsoft Store or through a disc that I buy in the store and play it on the Xbox partition, would be a really cool deal to have. Now, I know some people would say, what if it gets hacked? You have to understand, Microsoft is a pretty big company, and Hyper-V, which is the virtualization platform they use, is pretty enterprise grade, and Xbox piggybacks off of it. If it's not being hacked in the enterprise space, I'm sure, while it can be hacked, will be relatively safe. Microsoft's not new to this. They can pull it off. I know that I went very technical towards the end of this video, and I roasted the shit out of this console in the beginning, but, you know, I'm not a fanboy. I'll always buy anything that's valuable, anything that brings something new to the table. And I feel, while this isn't the newest thing that they can do, if Microsoft pulls it off, I feel like it could be a home run for the company. You know, Xbox has done a lot to come back this generation. And nobody's ever going to forget how shitty 2013 with Don Matrick was, where he was like, hey guys, Xbox can watch TV. Yeah, like, I give a fuck. But Xbox, you know, Phil Spencer did a lot to bring this fucking system back. And Series X, while it looks really nice, I think if it can do what I've said, which it probably won't, but I feel like that could really add some value to it. I hope somebody in Microsoft's listening. But ultimately, it is the next generation, and the games are already looking kind of cool. They have some previews that are already available. Pretty wild stuff. Games are looking good. System is looking not too half bad. Design, you know, it's a little blocky. But overall, I'm impressed. You know, I'm not a cynical bastard enough to hate everything I've come across. That being said, though, ladies and gentlemen, Xbox Series X, weird device, but hey, as a gamer, I am proud to see the next generation come through. And fuck, we've made it through an entire console generation at this point, so hell yeah, dude. This is like a landmark achievement for all of us. That being said, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. This is me, Mudar, and I am out.